Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Connect series. Today we have something very special for you. As you know, with the Connect series here, we love to bring experts to talk about what TI is doing to stay in the forefront of wireless connectivity. And today we have some very special guests. But before we do that, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Adrian Fernandez, and once again joined by my co-host, Nick Smith. Nick, how are you doing today?
Doing well, Adrian. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, so super special day. And as I mentioned, we have two very special guests. Today we're bringing in our business line managers responsible for both our sub 1 gigahertz products and our 2.4 gigahertz products. And as we've talked about ad nauseum within this series, is just how vast and wide the connectivity space is. And as we'll learn from our two special guests here, there's lots that we have to cover in terms of the unique requirements that have to be addressed within these various spaces that we're adding connectivity to. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome our guests. We have Ram Vedantam, who's our 2.4 gigahertz business line manager, and we have Petter Rand, who's our sub 1 gigahertz business line manager. Thank you guys so much for joining us here today.
Hey, Adrian. Pleasure.
Awesome. Well, let's jump right in. We like to keep these, nice and quick for folks looking for some quick knowledge. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into our first, question. Where do you guys see the traction and the growth opportunities within wireless connectivity?
Actually, wireless connectivity is changing the world as we know now. And I would say the 2.4 gigahertz connectivity solutions and technologies are at the forefront driving that and fueling that growth. And we see that the standards evolution are in the 2.4 gigahertz space playing a significant role here. Standards like BLE have proliferated and will continue to proliferate in a significant way and find its way into new end equipments and new opportunities beyond the space. It'll go into the medical and asset tracking and other kinds of locationing based end equipments, in addition to the building automation and home automation end equipment. In addition to that, we have Zigbee becoming more integral standard. And as we know it, actually, it's going to take on a bigger scope in terms of bringing together other IoT technologies together, such as chip or connected home over IP. And also Thread being the other key standard, which is based on IP and has the mesh networking as part of the standard itself. So these three standards will kind of reshape the way as we think of in the 2.4 gigahertz space and will fuel the growth of connectivity technologies and also accelerate the growth for the 2.4 gigahertz products.
That's awesome. And maybe just to maybe rephrase a little bit, it sounds like in the 2.4 gigahertz space, we have a lot of the established protocols, let's say, Bluetooth, Zigbee, so on and so forth. But to your point, Ram, it sounds like they're starting to evolve and we're keeping up, or in many ways driving the future of those stacks, which I'd love to hear more about later in this discussion. And then maybe Petter on the sub 1 gigahertz side, traditionally that's where a lot of proprietary kind of homegrown protocols are living in. But it sounds like we're starting to invest into maybe more standardized, more official stacks, if you will. So it's really interesting to see how both of these sides are continuing to evolve to address all the requirements that developers have as they add connectivity to their applications.
Absolutely, and I think that's a key point. In the sub 1 gigahertz space, traditionally and still shipping by far the largest volume today, is stacks that have been developed by specific companies to solve specific problems and applications. I think someone coming into the space today, having some kind of application that can be elegantly solved with sub 1 gigahertz technology from a range and robustness perspective, they are not necessarily looking to invent their own stack. They're looking to find something that exists and that meets the needs. And of course, it's going to be vastly different application requirements in the background here across building automation, the grid infrastructure, or asset tracking, right? But it's going to be find the nearest stack that solves the problem rather than going out and inventing something new. And that's a dramatic change in the sub 1 gigahertz space.
And just to add here from an automotive perspective, that's an area where, again, BLE as a technology will continue to proliferate. And I referenced basically real-time localization techniques being an integral part of that. And TI is at the forefront of driving that standard evolution on that front. Another aspect is from a battery management standpoint, we have a very exciting new protocol from TI on TI wireless battery management solution. And this is again another technology which we intend to standardize, and that will again be a game changer in the industry.
So, what is TI doing to keep up with the advancements that we're seeing in wireless connectivity, and also keep up with all of the customers and people connecting different devices?
Yeah, the first thing we are doing is to essentially proliferate our products and make sure that we are addressing each of these markets in a unique way. And each of these markets are driven or driving specific requirements. So it's important to have a very wide portfolio. To that end, we are coming up with 18 new parts in 2021, focusing on each of these end equipments and focusing on each of these markets. We will have a wide array of software offering to go along with each of these parts, and we will have pin-to-pin compatibility options for customers to migrate from the lower end of the portfolio with cheaper connectivity devices to a more comprehensive wireless MCU that can do basically the application together with the protocol stack in one silicon. Together with that, we will also have an out-of-box experience that is seamless between the lower end to the higher end with the same ecosystem, similar development experience, and the ability to port between the lower end to the higher end seamlessly.
Now on the sub 1 gigahertz side, I think some of the more interesting advancements there is in addition to all these new devices that we're putting out in the market to expand the portfolio from sort of high end to low end, allowing customers to migrate between. We're also keeping the option to have both 2.4 gigahertz and sub 1 gigahertz operation on the same device. That's recognizing that sometimes you need both a long range link for infrastructure. At the same time, you might need a short range link for local control and networking. And we also have now options where there's sufficient memory to be doing that. You can also do more efficient over-the-air download on the short-range link. On top of that, we also have opportunities in our more proprietary stacks to go and build out a very fast over-the-air download that can be done even over the, let's say, lower data rate throughput of the long-range links. I think that's key aspect to be able to maintain security and reliability of a system over time. To have that over-the-air download option, that's definitely something that we're putting a lot of emphasis on in this new launch that we're doing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And congratulations, Ram and Petter, for being able to pull that together here in 2021 for developers. We touched a little bit on the portfolio side, and we touched a little bit about stacks and protocols. Could both of you maybe elaborate, what TI is doing to be at the forefront of these protocols, whether it's established protocols continuing to evolve or working with partners to bring brand new standards to market to address very specific, very new needs. Maybe Petter, if you don't mind starting with that question.
Sure. Let me take that in two parts. First of all, we're investing a lot in the existing successful wireless protocols that we've been deploying in very large volumes for the last 10 plus years. So this is wireless M-Bus that's being used for metering deployments in Europe. There we see an opportunity to expand beyond the successful home market and bring that to other regions of the world. It's got a range of different modes and frequency bands that can be used. So that's an exciting opportunity. The other existing standard that we have been working for a long time in is the IEEE 802.15.4. It has a lot of attractive physical layers for the sub 1 gigahertz space. And it's an area where we also put a stack on top of it to make it probably the most versatile and powerful and robust star network solution for simple applications. And that's something that can be the best starting point probably for a good number of applications, especially in the home and building automation space. Now, if we look beyond that to the new standards that we're investing in, we are building on top of that IEEE 802.15.4 MAC that we have, and are deploying this year the Wi-SUN stack for the first time. So Wi-SUN is a mesh network, long-range, robust, scalable network that has components from IEEE and other instances that are, well proven, and it's been put together in a thoughtful way to be used for infrastructure deployments. So this is today very successful in the electricity metering space, and it's something that we're working also with the Alliance to take that same technology, bring it outside of its home base in electricity metering, and put it into street lighting applications, into EV charging, and other grid infrastructure applications. And we think that's, given the throughput and the security that we can achieve, is a very good alternative for truly infrastructure and large-scale deployments over a wide area network. The other one that we're investing in that's new is the MIOTI stack. So MIOTI is a standard that's being developed as a low-power wide area network solution. Truly low-power, simple end nodes, and a rather more complex gateway solution. This technology is developed, among others, by the Fraunhofer Institute that we're working closely with on that. And it's really exciting to see, I would say, an LP1 solution that's truly meeting its potential in terms of being scalable and robust. I think that's, anyone can make two nodes talk to each other over a certain distance, pure physics, but it takes a certain ingenuity, I would say, in the protocol definitions to make sure that that can scale up to a really successful and large deployment. So that's something we're very excited to be a part of.
Yeah, as Petter alluded to, in a lot of ways, TI has been at the forefront of driving standards, and that is true for 2.4 gigahertz and sub 1 gigahertz technologies. Actually, going back in time, we were one of the first to drive the BLE in the Bluetooth SIG Alliance, and we had the first Bluetooth SIG product more than a dozen years back. We also had the first ZigBee product out there in the market back in 2009 timeframe. So we have been there and we have been driving these standards for a very long time, and we continue to be at the forefront of driving standards, whether it's the first BLE 5.0 chip with the long range capability there, both from a standard perspective and product perspective. We have been the technology drivers there. Same thing holds true more recently on the ZigBee side, where we have been driving the ZigBee over sub 1 gigahertz technology in the Alliance. We have also been driving the ZigBee R23 specification. And as I mentioned earlier, this connected home over IP, which is a new technology or standard at the application layer that connects together the different underlying network protocols. That's a standard where TI has been there since its inception and has been one of the founding members of that alliance. In addition to driving these different standards, the other thing that TI continues to do is to establish market leadership from a product perspective and product intersection of those standards and technologies. So we continue to pair these technology evolution together with the right level of hardware and software offering and get to the market as quickly as possible once the standard is out. And that's an area where we have significantly grown and invested with the new portfolio of devices that I just alluded to. And we will be a one-stop shop for all of our customers when it comes to software, hardware, as well as the standard partnership for our customers.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Ram, and thanks, Petter. It makes a lot of sense. And maybe from my side, if you could each just kind of give, one thing that sets the TI portfolio apart. There's other connectivity devices, but TI's portfolio is truly unique. Give me one thought each of what really sets the TI portfolio apart with all these new products coming.
So what sets us apart is the ability to look at it from a system standpoint and optimize it at a system level. I mentioned earlier about our automotive leadership, where we have Bluetooth real-time localization expertise combining together different aspects of BLE technologies. That's an area where we have the capability to do something like that because of not only our expertise on the RF side, but we can combine together other technologies like LF, combine together with our broader TI portfolio and present a very compelling use case. Same thing goes with the wireless battery management, where we partner together with other products within the TI portfolio and make sure that we are able to offer a system level solution that is cost optimized, performance wise the best in class in the industry, and we are shaping up the industry in a lot of ways by having that system level view and system level offering.
I would say on top of the products that we're bringing out this year, which should make anyone excited, I think is what shines through in those products, be it silicon or software, is that we are a team of dedicated and passionate experts that have been doing this for a long time. And we all wake up in the morning trying to find ways to get that packet across, be it a challenging environment from a robustness perspective or interference, or tough latency or throughput requirements. These are the kind of things we thrive to find solutions to, and we are really passionate about solving customer problems and putting out great products that really embody that, and that shows in the existing portfolio, and I would say especially in the new things that we're putting out this year. So that's exciting.
Okay, well, yeah, thank you very much, Ram and Petter. It was a true pleasure having you on. It's really exciting to see the business leaders talk about the businesses with such passion on both sub 1 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz. It sounds like this year we have one of the largest product launches I've ever seen. We're at the forefront of pushing the standards forward, as both of you mentioned. And then when you pair that with the systems expertise and the RF expertise, it's a really compelling portfolio. So thank you for being on the Connect series. Thank all of you guys for watching. Thanks, Adrian, for co-hosting. As always, we have links down below. So if you want to check out some of the first new products, go there. And we have more exciting topics coming up. So don't forget to tune into the next one. Thanks, guys.